Hello friends, welcome to second part of this video series in which we are getting started with ESP32 and ESP8266 development boards. We are introducing about ESP32 and ESP8266 chips. Let's get started. These both chips, ESP32 and ESP8266, are manufactured by same manufacturer, Espressif Systems. It is a manufacturer in Shanghai, China. ESP8266 is a low-cost Wi-Fi microchip. Low-cost Wi-Fi microchip with full TCP/IP stack and microcontroller capability. So it is a microcontroller. It has a microcontroller capability as well as it has a Wi-Fi microchip feature. It is produced by Espressif Systems. And ESP32 is a low-cost, low-power system-on-chip SoC series with Wi-Fi and dual-mode Bluetooth capabilities. So ESP8266 has a Wi-Fi capability and ESP32 has both Wi-Fi and dual-mode Bluetooth capabilities. Let's see about ESP8266 features. ESP8266 chip has a 32-bit RISC microprocessor core based on Tensilica Extensa Diamond standard, which is running at 80 MHz. It has a memory of 32 kilobytes of RAM, 32 kilobytes of cache RAM, 80 kilobytes of user data RAM, and 16 kilobytes of ETS system data RAM. It has an external QSPI flash. It can be up to 60 MB supported, and it's a range of 512 kilobytes to 4 megabytes typically included on chip itself. So it supports IEEE 802.11, which is a Wi-Fi standard, integrated TR switch, balloon, LNA power amplifier, matching network. These all features of Wi-Fi. It has a 16 GPIO pins. ESP8266 has a 16 GPIO pins. It has also support SPI, Serial Peripheral Interface Protocol, I2C protocol, I2S protocol, Inter-Integrated Circuit protocol, with DMA sharing pins with GPIO. UART, it has a UART on dedicated pins plus transmit only UART can be enabled on GPIO too. It also has a 10-bit ADC, successive approximation type ADC, and log to digital converter 10-bit ADC. So these all are features of ESP8266. Let's see functional block diagram of ESP8266. This is functional block diagram of ESP8266. You can see here these all features we have seen now in previous slide, like UART, GPIO, I2C, I2C, I2S, SDIO, PWM, ADC, SPI. These all block. This is a flash block. Also with these features like Wi-Fi capability, which is RF receiver transmitter unit here, and all these things. It has also static RAM, SRAM. So this is functional block diagram of ESP8266. Now let's see the development board which is built using this chip ESP8266. This is one development board which is manufactured by NodeMCU. It has a ESP8266 12th version chip. Here is that. This development board has a onboard 3.3 regulator, LDO regulator. It has also onboard USB to UART converter chip here one. It has this PCB Wi-Fi antenna, you can see here. So this is all about ESP8266. Let's see more about ESP8266 on its official Espressif's website. Here is the wiki page of ESP8266 module family. You can see here. Here you can find various information about ESP8266 development pages from its beginning and introduction to the embedded world. So here we can get here, this is the latest version ESP12. We have seen ESP13 on NodeMCU development board, which we have earlier seen. You can find various information from ESP01 module to ESP13 module on this wiki page, how they developed its PCB and all the information here. ESP01, then ESP02, ESP03, these all phases of development of this chip and development board. So here you can see under this one protecting metal cover, you can find this chip is under that. Here is the chip. This is all diagrams for ESP8266. Here is the official Espressif website, which is about ESP8266. You can see here it is a cost-effective, highly integrated Wi-Fi MCU for IoT applications. There's features. They have also given the features like high durability, compactness, power saving architecture. It has a 32-bit Tensilica processor which can be speed up to 160 MHz as we have seen earlier. It also has a real-time operating system, that is RTOS capability, and Wi-Fi stack, TCP/IP stack. These all features and you can find all this information of ESP8266 module development kits, how to get started, its SDK, software development kit, and technical support, and all the documents of datasheets and all the things, hardware design guidelines on this page. We can share this link in description of this video. Okay, this is all about ESP8266 and its features. Now let's see about ESP32. We have not seen this. This is a pin diagram of NodeMCU ESP8266. You can see here. You can get different GPIOs and all the peripherals output pins on this development board. This is ESP8266 development board by NodeMCU. So now let's see about ESP32. It is created by Espressif Systems. ESP32 is a low-cost, low-power system-on-chip SoC series with Wi-Fi and dual-mode Bluetooth capabilities. ESP32 family includes chips ESP32, D0WD, and all this series chips. At its heart, there is a dual-core or a single-core Tensilica Extensa LX6 microprocessor with clock rate up to 240 MHz. We can see that here ESP8266 can be clocked up to 160 MHz and ESP32 is clocked up to 240 MHz. So it is faster than ESP8266. ESP32 is a highly integrated with built-in antenna switches, RF balloon, power amplifier, low noise amplifier, filters, power management modules. So these all are Wi-Fi features. And ESP32 also has a Bluetooth support and it has a dual mode Bluetooth capabilities. ESP32 is a engineered for mobile devices, wearable electronics, and IoT applications. ESP32 achieves ultra low power consumption through power saving features including fine resolution clock gating. Clock gating is the feature used for power saving, multiple power modes, and dynamic power scaling. These are features of ESP32. So let's see block diagram of ESP32. Here is the functional block diagram of ESP32 chip. Here is the chip. This is ESP32 NodeMCU ESP32 development board. You can see here. Under this protecting cover of metal, you can find this chip. This one chip is here. So this is antenna, PCB antenna, and this one is the chip here. This is the functional block diagram, shows ESP32 supports different protocols like SPI, I2C, I2C, I2S, SDIO, UART, CAN, controller area network, IR, PWM, temperature sensor, touch sensors, DAC, digital analog converter, and ADC, successfully operation type. It has a Bluetooth link controller, Bluetooth baseband, Wi-Fi, MAC. So these all features. It also has a embedded flash, RAM, SRAM. These all features of SoC ESP32. This is NodeMCU 32S development board of NodeMCU, which is built around ESP32 chip. So these are a lot of features and GPIOs and peripheral pinout of this development board. Let's see more about ESP32 on this link, which is like wiki link for ESP32. This one is, it has a huge and lot of amount of information you can find here about ESP32, like it's getting started, documentation, reading, videos, projects developed using this chip and development boards. Here are all information on this chip. Here are features and specification of ESP32. It has a two, we have seen it can have one or two processors, microprocessors. It is a Tensilica Extensa 32-bit LX6 processor, cores 2 or 1 depending on variation, as you have seen. It has a wireless connectivity. These are all wireless features like 802.11 standard and Bluetooth, which is version 2.4. It has a version 4.2, which supports Bluetooth low energy BLE, and Wi-Fi is of 2.4 GHz and 150 Mbps. About memory, ESP32 has a ROM of 440 kilobytes, static RAM of 520 kilobytes, RTC fast SRAM 8 kilobyte, RTC slow SRAM 8 kilobyte. It has an embedded flash. Now it comes with variant of different flash memories, embedded flash, 2 MB, 4 MB. So it supports up to 16 MB external flash. You can see here. ESP32 support up to 16 MB external flash and SRAM with hardware encryption based on AES protection developer program and data. It has a AES to protect program and data, AES encryption. Peripherals, rich peripheral interface with TMA and includes capacitive touch, ADCs, analog to digital converter, DACs, digital to analog converters, I2C inter-integrated circuits, UART, universal asynchronous receiver transmitter, CAN. We have seen earlier that controller area network, which versions 2.0, SPI, serial peripheral interface I2S, PWM, and much more. Security, it has a secure boot feature. It has a flash encryption as we have seen earlier, AES based. So 802 point standard security features all are supported, like WPA and WPS Wi-Fi features. So these all are features of ESP32. You can find different communities, forums on ESP32 on this link. We will share this link in description of this video. This is all about ESP32 chip. This is ESP32 development board by NodeMCU. Now we will see different projects, mini projects, and other DIY stuff using this very fascinating chips, ESP8266 and ESP32.